Yo, what is up guys? Delboy here, aka Blue Collar Sports TV. Hopefully you guys are doing well. If you're new here, smash that like, hit subscribe, all of that good stuff. Apologies for the lack of content in the last few days or so. Not really been feeling boxing all that much in the last week post Beterbiev Bivol. Don't really feel there's been too much to discuss, to be honest with you. But I did notice on the schedule on BoxRec that Subriel Matias is returning to the ring on the 9th of November, so little over a week away. Of course, Subriel Matias, he lost his title in his last fight against Liam Paro, a fight in which surprised a lot of people. I expected Matias to win that fight, but Liam Paro kind of out-hustled Matias. He kind of out-slicked him. And, tactically, I felt he did a pretty good job in there. I did feel that Matias looked flat. I felt he looked a little disinterested. Of course, that fight was his first Puerto Rico homecoming, being the champion, being the IBF champion. And I do wonder whether he took himself a little too seriously, whether he underestimated Liam Paro. Of course, prior to that fight, Subriel Matias was going on a tear and beating very underrated, dangerous fighters. He was knocking out guys who were basically in the Who Needs Him club. Guys like Shoajan Ergashev, guys like Jeremias Ponce, Batiazan Junkumbayev, guys like this who are dangerous or who were dangerous, who were highly ranked, but, they were never really going to get big opportunities. Matias ran through a whole host of those sort of unbeaten guys, and he was looking very devastating. And in my opinion, at that time, one of the most exciting fighters in boxing. In fact, in the last sort of 3-4 years, he has been one of my favourite fighters in boxing. So for him to put on the performance he did against Liam Paro was a little disappointing. Of course, Liam Paro did well, but I was expecting more from Subriel Matias, and I really don't think he was at his best for whatever reason. I just felt he looked flat. Regardless, he's got his opportunity to come back and make some sort of a statement. Again, he's fighting on the 9th of November, and he is taking on a Mexican fighter by the name of Roberto Ramirez. Ramirez is 36 years old, has a record of 26 wins, 3 defeats, 1 draw, 19 of his 26 wins by way of knockout. But Roberto Ramirez has, fought a whole host of cab drivers in Mexico, let's be honest about it. He's built up a pretty good record, but all 3 losses come against the best guys he's fought. First loss was against Carlos Ocampo. Second loss was against Abel Ramos, and his third loss was against William Zepeda. He got stopped in 2 of those losses. So every time the guy stepped up, he's been beaten. So I expect Matias to beat him as well. The question is, how is Matias going to look? Will he be rejuvenated after suffering that defeat and losing his title? Will he be rejuvenated? He was after his first defeat to Petros Ananyan back in 2020. After that fight, and it was a similar fight to the Liam Paro fight in the sense of he looked really flat. But after that fight, he went on a tear. Will this be the start of a new run from Subriel Matias? Regardless, I expect him to win this fight. For me, what's going to be interesting is how he wins this fight. Ramirez is there to be stopped. From what little I've seen of him, he's quite aggressive. He comes to fight, which suits Matias. And yeah, I'll be intrigued to see how he looks in there. I'm not sure whether this fight is on DAZN. So we may have a bit of trouble actually seeing this fight, but I'm sure after the event, a copy will be uploaded. So I'm not sure whether you guys can even see this live. According to BoxRec, it's being broadcast on a site called payperview.com. So has Subriel Matias lost his Matchroom deal? I'm not sure. But yeah, Matias is a fight he should win, but for me the interesting thing is to see how he looks, to see whether he looks reinvigorated after that loss. Because if he does, if that was a bad night at the office, then of course Matias is still a very big player at 140. I just hope that desire is there. I hope that loss hasn't shattered his confidence. I don't think it's the sort of loss to shatter your confidence, to be honest, because it wasn't like Matias was beat up or dropped or badly hurt or anything like that. He was just kind of out-slicked. He was outmaneuvered more than anything. So I don't think it's going to affect Matias all that much, and I expect him to put on a really good showing. I expect him to get a knockout, a stoppage. I expect it to be one-sided. And yeah, I want to see this guy bounce back, because for me, one of the most exciting fighters in boxing, and you look at the 140 division right now, there are still several fights out there that would be very exciting. Very exciting. So, like, for example, Matias versus the winner of Jose Ramirez and Arnold Barboza. That would be a great fight. How about Matias versus Teofimo Lopez? Matias versus Catterall versus Devin Haney? There's a lot of fights still there for Subriel Matias, even against a guy like Lindolfo Delgado, the up-and-coming Mexican fighter who fights with Top Rank, I believe. That would be a good fight. So there's plenty of options for him at 140, and, you know, he's 32 years old, so it's not exactly like he's ancient. He's still got a couple of years left to where he can make a run, 2-3 years maybe. So yeah, I'm kind of intrigued to see how he looks against Roberto Ramirez. We'll see. I'm expecting a good showing. But anyway, share your thoughts below. Do you guys think Matias is done at this point following that loss? Do you think the blueprint is out now? Or do you believe this guy can make a successful rebound and go on another run? Of course, I'm interested to hear your thoughts, so share them below. But anyway, Beanie Guy Del Boy, peace out, catch you on the next one.